cut my hair.
You a doctor?
Dr. Frank Bishop.
Yancy Derringer. This happened just about a minute ago. We heard a scream.
This is rotten. 5th attack in a week.
She all right?
Pretty badly beaten. We ought to take her somewhere.
Madam Francine's the closest. Think you can walk?
I don't know.
Feeling better, dear?
Thank you, Doctor.
She's had a very frightening experience. Be better if she could spend the night here.
Oh, I'm sure that can be arranged, Doctor.
Thank you.
Wasn't it lucky that you just happened to be there at the right time?
I was on my way home after a call.
But wasn't it lucky?
Yes, it was.
There's something so senseless about these crimes. The hair chopped off, it's like the trick of a horribly depraved... Oh, if they'd only catch him.
Do they want to?
Well, now, that's an odd remark, Doctor.
The clown's not the only criminal in New Orleans. This administrator puts up with anything. Wantonness, drunkenness, gambling.
You've been very helpful, Doctor. Thank you. And good night.
Good night.
Gambling.
Wantonness, drunkenness,
Oh,
gambling.
don't be funny.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Yancy. I guess this reign of terror is getting on my nerves.
Let's go downstairs. I'll buy you a drink.
Not right now. I want to be sure she's all right.
Are you going to submit to this reign of terror?
No, not.
Another disgrace! The Freedom League is your hope. The League will stamp out not only the clown, but the other criminals that have turned New Orleans into the country's shame. We will guard your streets and make them safe for you. The men of the Freedom League will protect you.
The remedy sounds worse than a disease.
Under the rule of John Colton, New Orleans has long been a city of sin.
Mr. Derringer.
It has now become a city of terror. Young women brutally assaulted, hideously humiliated.
My husband's talking about you.
The city government
I beg your pardon, ma'am.
unable.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. But neither should you laugh at our movement.
Oh, I certainly agree with you. It's no laughing matter.
Why not join us, Mr. Derringer? Think of all the good you could do. After all, you're a very important figure among the... Well, in...
The underworld.
Law and order have broken down.
Oh, Karen, surely you're not trying to recruit Mr. Derringer.
Doctor, don't tell me that you're a member of this, league?
No, I'm not. But I happen to believe in the League and in the steps that Ogilvy's taking to rid this town of the undesirables.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more.
This infamous thing must be blotted out. Get rid of Colton. Thank you, my lord. Thank you.
Dear. Well, I noticed you in the crowd, Mr. Derringer. Did you hear my speech?
Yes, I did. Good night.
Shall we go?
Jeremiah? I am a member here. Oh, Francie?
Yancy, welcome to Nightmare Abbey. You want to see a really frightened girl? 4 of them.
Yancy. Oh, glad to see you, Yancy.
5, counting you?
All right, my nerves are gone. The whole town is scared. I had to shut down. There was no business. No, thank you. Nobody talking about anything but that hideous clown.
Pahoo and I thought we'd escort the girls home, make sure they get there safely.
No, I want the girls to stay here for the night. Yancy, it's such a long drive to Waverly. Why don't you and Pahoo stay in the back parlor?
All right.
Oh, thank you. Make yourself at home. I'm going to go upstairs and lock myself in. Come on, girls.
Well,
I just came down for a glass of water.
get your glass of water. No, Pahoo. Just badly beaten. Yes. Now we'll kill.
We have every available man on the case. Captain Fry doesn't sleep anymore, and we're searching the city thoroughly.
What are you looking for? Man in a mask? He can take it off, you know.
I know, Yancy, I know. But that's why I asked you here, for your advice.
There seems to be a pattern to these assaults.
Pattern. Pattern, I know there's a pattern. I'm not completely stupid. All the victims are young women, fine. But where does that get us?
Well, there seems to be more of a pattern than that. Each girl has been victimized immediately after a story about her appeared in the paper. You take Carrie Sloan, immediately after her debut. The little Chinese girl, half beaten to death after an interview about her appeared in the Picayune.
But what about Madame Francine? No story on her.
Well, I'm afraid that was a warning for me.
Yancy, if you're right, do you realize the implications of this? By choosing a victim in the public eye, the crime itself receives more publicity and becomes a weapon in the movement against this office.
Right. And the next victim of the clown will be the next woman in the public eye.
Yes, but who?
Well, my guess, Mr. Colton, would be right here.
No, Yancy. Alma Hauptmann.
The Divine Alma.
Climax of triumphant American tour. Europe's leading actress in her greatest role, The Lady of the Camellias by Alexander Dumas. Yancy, he wouldn't dare.
Would you like to make a small wager, Mr. Colton?
No, of course not. You're probably right.
All right, then let's get started. Shall I see the manager of the Opera House?
Yes, and I'll see Captain Fry.
Good. Bye, Mr. Colton.
Derringer?
Captain Fry?
This man insists on seeing you, Mr. Colton.
I'm here, sir, on behalf of the people of New Orleans, to demand your resignation.
Who are you?
My name is Bart Ogilvy.
And I presume this is Mrs. Ogilvy.
It is. With a madman loose in the city, my wife stays at my side.
My resignation. On what grounds?
Inefficiency, fraud, coddling of criminals, which is exemplified by the fact that you're doing nothing about this reign of terror in our city.
Our city, Mr. Ogilvy? And where are you from?
I was from Providence, Rhode Island, but I'm now a proud citizen of New Orleans.
I see. Well, you're hardly in a position, Mr. Ogilvy, to know what is being done.
I know that you tolerate crime and corruption. I know that you consort with gamblers and criminals.
The administrator can't very well call you an irresponsible liar, but I can, and you are. I'm sorry I let them in, Mr. Colton.
I think, sir, you're overstepping the bounds.
I'm not going to prolong this interview, and I'm not going to resign.
There are other means of getting rid of you.
Perhaps. But I am answerable to two men, the President of the United States and the Secretary of War.
I know.
Good Good day, sir.
Mr. Colton, we are already in touch with the War Department.
By the way, Captain, any news on the clown?
Nothing, sir. Absolutely nothing.
This is a real ovation.
Marvelous, wasn't she?
Splendid.
Think something's wrong?
I don't know.
She's all right, Mr. Derringer.
Where is she?
She went upstairs to her dressing room.
Mademoiselle? Mademoiselle! Well, Captain?
She's here. I saw her myself. She went in. She never came out. Mr. Derringer, look.
I've given her something to make her sleep. When she wakes up, I suggest you get her back to the hotel.
I'll do that, Dr. Bishop. Thank you very much.
How is she?
She's going to be all right. No thanks to her protectors.
Dr. Bishop, how do you always manage to be on hand when the clown strikes?
How do you?
That's no answer.
Mr. Derringer, I've been the house doctor for the French Opera for the last 3 years.
What about Carrie Sloan?
Mr. Derringer, I gave up being a hair-cutting maniac when I was 11 years old. Good night.
One of the world's great actresses. Outraged, beaten up, humiliated, trussed up like a Christmas goose right under our noses. What was it we didn't do?
We didn't catch the clown.
Well, one thing at least. So far, no one has been killed.
Don't push your luck, Mr. Colton. It's always the first time.
Thank you, Private. This just came from Washington, Mr. Colton.
Thank you. Gentlemen, this should surprise no one. It's a summons to Washington from the Secretary of War.
I'm sorry, sir.
When will you leave, Mr. Colton?
As soon as possible. Captain Fry, this matter is now in your hands.
Yes, sir. I think it might be a good idea if we had Mr. Derringer's help.
I think that's a very good idea, Captain.
May I get in touch with you later, sir?
Be my pleasure.
Come with me.
Well, Yancy, it's entirely possible I won't be back.
Would you like to make a small wager?
Thank you. Thank you, Pahoo.
Jeremiah? Hello, Francie.
Yancy Derringer, this is the worst thing you've ever done to me. Somebody's turned over every rock in this town. Now, who are these people?
Friends of mine. I want you to meet them. Put the gun away, Jeremiah. Gentlemen, Madame, I want all of you to meet Madame Francine. Francie, it's Foxy McClure. Runs every dive in the French Quarter.
John.
Likewise.
Sneaky Joe, Prince of Thieves.
Jody's boss.
That amateur?
Mother Snitch, Belle of the Beggars.
Nice place you have here. Hard to do.
Mumbles Bailey, King of the Levee. Mumbles says, if you can't hear it, it ain't evidence. All right. Now, you all know that there's a madman called the Clown Loos in New Orleans.
Yeah, but who does he belong to?
Who does he belong to? The Freedom League.
Freedom League.
That.
Now, if the Freedom League takes over New Orleans, the city that you all love is going to be gone. All gone.
Can't afford that.
Now, Mr. Colton, the administrator, is using all of his forces to try to find this clown. Now, I want to use all of yours, too.
Yancy, this is one of the few times you've been right. What do you want us to do?
I want you to spread the word. I want every scrap of information you can possibly find on this clown.
I'll get started right away. I got a great many valuable contacts.
I'll report.
Get this mob out of here.
This is no mob. This is the new law.
Just what do you think you're doing here? This is a private club.
A private gambling hell.
These men attacked us. Arrest them.
That's right, Captain Fry. That one, that one.
Thank you, Mr. Derringer. Get a squad.
Will he hurt you?
No. Good night, Mumbles. Good night, Mother Snitch.
I'm here tonight only because my husband lies wounded, the victim of an attack by the criminals who hold our city in their grip. And I say to you what I know he would say if he were here. Replace John Colton. Ladies and gentlemen, excuse me for a moment.
Karen?
Stop it! Stop it, you fool!
Yancy, is everything all right?
Mrs. Ogilvy, just locked her in your bedroom.
But why bring her here?
She's the next victim of the clown. From the moment her name appeared in the newspaper, she became the next in line. Excuse me, Francie, I'm in a hurry. Pahoo?
Doctor, you fool. Well, it certainly took you long enough to get here. Do you know why they kidnapped me? This is really very funny. They were afraid that I was going to be your next victim. How do you like that? No, take that silly mask off.
Sorry, I'm not Dr. Bishop.
How'd you know?
You told me.
How?
The opera house when Pahoo and I kidnapped you. You said, stop it. Stop it, you fool. Those are hardly the words of a frightened woman. Now you tell me the truth.
Well, what do you think the truth is, Mr. Derringer?
That Dr. Bishop is the clown. Your husband is the ringmaster. And you run the whole show.
You know, the other night I asked you, Mr. Derringer, why didn't you join us? I repeat the invitation. Come on in, with your eyes open.
Join you? I ought to kill you.
Bart!
Come along, my dear. Did you think I wouldn't be back, Mr. Derringer? Come along. Dr. Bishop, set the place on fire.
Burn it.
Get some water. Throw it on the curtains.
I'm all right.
Mr. Derringer.
Thought you'd gone to Washington.
I don't think that trip will be necessary.
It's nice to have you back.